Hey guys, what are you at? It's Pam here from Pam's Crafty Corner. It has been a while since I've done a Flosstube video, so I'm a little out of practice again, but figured I would stop in to give you a little bit of an update as to what's been going on in my crafty world the last couple of months. It's been busy, but not a lot of variety. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I used to update Flosstube videos typically once a month, every month, and then kind of took a little break from it and have been now posting videos for the last year or so, a bit more sporadically, but I'm still here. So thank you for joining me. I'm currently on vacation and figured this would be a good opportunity to give you guys a little bit of an update as to what I've been doing. As you know, or anyone who's followed me knows, I have been working almost monogamously on a cross-stitch piece for my mother's 75th birthday, which is quickly approaching. It's toward the end of September, which means I have about a month to get this thing finished if I have any hopes of pinning it and getting it into a frame by her birthday. So I have almost been completely monogamously stitching that one piece for the last 2 months. In an effort to try and get it finished, and I'm down to the crunch. I don't know if I can finish it in time. It's a race against time at this point. I'm doing my best. So I haven't had a whole lot of projects to show. That's why I haven't bothered to do a Flosstube video. I have been posting all of my daily updates or a couple day updates on Instagram, so you can follow me there if you want to see my stitching on a more regular basis. But even my Instagram has been pretty boring as of late because it's just, again, this one piece for the most part. So why don't I start and show you the cross stitching and what I have worked on. I did pull out a couple of pieces in June just to kind of, the end of June, just to kind of spice up my creativity a little bit because I'm getting bogged down on this one piece. So I do have some progress on a couple of older whips. I will show those, and I will show the piece I've been working on for Mom. I'm also going to show a couple of quilting things I've been working on and some crochet. So let's get started. Early in, late June, early July, there was some summer stitching prompts that were kind of making the rounds on Instagram. And I decided that for a week or so, actually it turned out to be just a week, what I was doing is nights that I was working, I would take my monogamous piece to work with me and stitch on it during break time and downtime. And then any other piece for this stitching prompt, I would work on, you know, in the daytime at home, when I got up while I was having breakfast, when I had an hour to an hour and a half to stitch for a little while. So those pieces that I worked on consisted of this one, which is the whale from Owl Forest Embroidery. I pulled that out and got a little bit of stitching done on that. Hopefully you can see it okay there. I really like the way the colors are coming out in this piece. And I worked, I think, if memory serves, I think I finished this sail and started in the water, because one of the summer prompts was something with water. So that's Owl Forest's whale, where that is at the moment. I also pulled out Rosewood Manor's and Forest Grew. I love this piece and have hardly touched it in the last couple of years. So for those of you who may not remember what it looks like, this is it. And Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor. And it's quite a large piece. I'm stitching this one 1/1 on, I want to say it's 25 count fabric. Yeah, it is. It's 25 count antique white. And this is how far I've gotten. And I think for the stitching prompt, what I worked on during my last session, I think I added in some of this. I don't know what that is. Branches. It's a branch with some berries or something on it. And I'm not sure. I may have added that bird as well. But that's what I worked on there. So got that done. This piece is absolutely lovely. I just think it's so pretty. I'm also downstairs in my craft room today, instead of upstairs at the dining room table. I figured since my craft room was newly painted and done last year and I've kind of got it sorted out somewhat, it would just be easy for me to set up down here because all of my things are already here. The other piece I worked on was a Willow Hill Farm piece that I started while Allie was here visiting me. Willow Hill Farm. And I'm stitching this one on tiny fabric. I'm doing it 1/1 on whatever this is. I think it's 25 count. Yeah. And here we go. And this is where I am. So this is the entire width of the piece. That's what I had accomplished previously. And for the stitching prompt, I actually worked on the little house motif there. There you go. Some of the colors might be getting a bit washed out because of my light that I have there above me, but that's it. It's such a tiny, it's going to be such a dainty little piece when it's done. Very pleased with how it's turning out though. I think the stitches look great on this 25 count 1/1. That's that. On Canada Day, I wanted to stitch something, I guess, a little more patriotic for Canada Day. And I had this chart that I got from Stitch North, from Maximum Cross Stitch, Ellen Reed. And this is the Stitch North 2023 chart with a Canadian maple leaf. And so I started this piece on I think it's a piece of, I don't know what this is. It's an old piece of Aida cloth I had anyway. Here it is. So I got some of the maple leaf done there. And I'm stitching that using this Roxy Floss Co. Floss that came with my Stitch North package as well. It's the colorway Swagger. Yeah. So that I think is going to be good for that one. That'll work well. So that was my early summer stitching. Actually, I think I might have worked a day on my Jenny Bean Halloween sampler too. Hang on, I'll just grab that one. So this is the Jenny Bean Halloween sampler. And I did work on this. I worked on the house actually. That's on the piece. There you go. Excuse all the wrinkles because it was just folded up in the project bag. But there's the house. I think I might have finished off this. I can't remember if he was completely done, that bird. But I finished him. I can't remember if these letters were stitched or not, but I know I worked on the front of this and I worked on the roof. I love the colors in this piece. I went with a DMC conversion and I really like the way they're showing up on this coffee dyed fabric I did. Yeah. So that is it for all of my extra stitching. That is the only thing I've touched in the last couple of months, and that was back in late June, early July. I literally have not touched any other stitching other than my mom's birthday piece for the last 2 months. And it's all gray scale because it's monochromatic piece. And yeah, so to say that I'm craving a lot of variety right now is a mild understatement. Not only am I only working on one piece, I'm just working on that one monogamously with nothing else. So let me just take the hoop off of this. So I'll insert a picture of this piece, what it's supposed to look like when it's completely finished. Let me get the needle minder off. And I'll insert a picture of where it was before. So this is where it would have been the last time you saw it on a video. And excuse all my parked threads. If you've been following me on Instagram, you would have seen updates on it, but forgive all the wrinkles, but here he is now. Here is Mr. Elvis Presley in all of his glory. He's doing quite well, and I'm all the way down to these last 2 pages. So there's a full page here and a full page here, and then there's 2 little partial pieces on the bottom. So as you can see, I did do the partial page on this one, all of the color, and what's left just to go across here in those spaces is all of this background off-white color. That's going to be easy stitching for me to do at work, so I figured I could just fill that in on a night shift. But while I'm on vacation this week, I am really trying to get a crack on the confetti stitching here on this page in between his legs, because both of his legs are just full black, like just straight black stitching. So I'm hoping his legs and the very bottom of this piece will be a fast, quick, easy stitch. So there he is. That's where I am. So I still have quite a bit to get done there on that bottom corner, but I think the last time you saw him, I only had to about here done. So I've done quite a bit. I've been averaging almost 2 pages a month, I want to say. So if I can get these 2 pages done this month, we'll be golden, because this last bit with the straight black for his legs, that's just big blocks of color. I can stitch that fairly efficiently. Whew, but as you can see, even the outside is very confetti heavy because the borders aren't just white. It's got all of this gray and purples dispersed, like sprinkled in amongst the background. You can see it there as well, right? So I'm really trying to get this done for her birthday. Hopefully it will be. So that's the big monogamous piece I've been working on and I've been stuck into for the last couple of months. And I'm close enough that I'm delusional enough that I think I can actually get this accomplished. So if you want to follow my progress and see how it's going, feel free to check out my Instagram. It's Pam's Crafty Corner. I'll have a link to my Instagram in the description box of the video. And I usually post, like I say, an update there every couple of days for sure. So that is the end of my cross-stitching bonanza. So what have I been doing in between? So a few minutes here or there. I have still managed to try and do a little bit of paper piecing. So I'm still working on some foundation paper piecing blocks for my quilt. Allie taught me how to foundation paper piece while she was here, and I've kept up with that pretty well. So I've been putting together a few blocks, nothing major, again, because all of my time has been spent doing that piece. I've also pulled out my hexie quilt, and I've taken all of the hexies that I had put together and have attached them all together now. So this is where my English paper piecing hexie quilt top is. Let's see if I can find a good way to show this here. Here we go. So I have quite a bit done of this, and I'm just loving the random scrappy look of this. And I've been just adding the hexies in as I see fit, and I'm down to, I have a row here on the bottom now that I'm just attaching along here. So that's what I've been doing. I've been kind of picking colors and putting them together in a strip and then adding the strip to the quilt top. So that way I can still take it back and forth to work, or, you know, I can just take my little box with the hexies and my needle and thread, and I can sew some strips together or put some hexies together around the paper forms, and then when I get home I can sew those together. So that's where that is. And the only other thing that I have done in an effort to try and keep myself sane, to break up the monotony of Elvis, is a little bit of crochet. So I've been doing some granny squares, a couple of different versions of granny squares. First of all, I started doing regular size small granny squares. I have a bunch of these already completed. No ends to weave in. When I make my granny squares, my ends are taken care of as I go. I don't have a bunch of ends left over to sew in at the end. I just have the one last tail that I cut at the end of finishing it, and this will get worked in as I start to join these together. So I have several stacks of these done in lots of varying colors, and I'm making a throw, I think, to go over my sofa downstairs here. And so I have several stacks done, and I just have them tossed in this little basket for now to keep them all flat and together. And I'm just using random yarn. So it's yarn that's been left over from other projects. I'm just throwing different colors together, no rhyme or reason. And again, a very scrappy look for a granny square blanket. The colors are not all coordinating or anything. It's just grab a ball and do a round on the granny square, grab another ball, do another round on the granny square. Yeah. Some of them are pretty bright and some of them are more muted in colors. So, but I'm sure they'll all look great. I'm going to join them all, I think, with either black or gray yarn. Not sure yet. We'll see. Probably black, I'm thinking. I might do all the outside edges in black. Or maybe a cream, actually. I don't know. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So that's those granny squares. The other stack I have here, I have some large sofa cushions that are just throw pillows on my sofa upstairs. And I got the idea of making some granny square slip covers to cover them. Because I changed my colors in my house this year when I renovated and we painted, not renovated, we painted this year. And I have my favorite color, teal, is in my kitchen and my dining room, and my sofa set in my living room is brown. And I want to kind of bring those pops of color of the teal into the living room as well, because the top level of my house, that whole outer portion, that's all open concept. So I got some teal and aqua colored yarn, and I've made some that are like this, that are large enough to be sewn together, and some that are like this, just solid color. So I figured I'd have one cushion like this and another cushion like that, and then a cushion like this and a cushion like that, right? And then I think I'm going to do all the backs in cream. So when it's sewn together, they would be just like this. So I'm just going to stitch those together around the cushions I already have. And that'll add a different look and something nice, I think, to the living room. So that's my plan with those. So they're so easy to make. And again, I do my ends as I go. I work them in as I'm doing the granny squares, as I do my rounds, my repeats, and there are no ends in sight. So when I'm done, I just have the one piece, because that is the worst thing about granny squares. They look great, but if you're not doing your ends as you go, it is a nightmare at the when you're finished to try and sew in all those ends. So that is everything I've been up to in my crafting world for the last couple of months. You can follow me on Instagram to keep up with my project, to see if I do manage to finish my mother's piece on time. Needn't worry, if I do finish it, I will be doing a video to show it, so you can all see it before it's given away. I will be doing some coffee, crime, and craft videos. Time has just really gotten away from me in the last couple of months. I do have several stories, I guess, researched and put together. I just need to take the time to sit down and record them. That's the problem. Because I don't have a designated recording area, every time I want to do a coffee, crime, and craft video, I have to set up a camera on a tripod so it's tipped down so you can see my work. And I have to set up my script on the laptop so I can read that while I'm stitching. And it's just, I just need to take the time to do it. I don't have a better excuse. Life, every day, which is not an excuse. I'm living life and enjoying it and loving it. So there you go. I hope everyone has been having a really good summer. It's been a good one here for us. I've been busy at work, and because we've been so busy at work, when I do have my downtime and when I do have a few days off, I've been really trying to make the most of them. and just enjoy myself and relax and recover so that I'm good to go for the next round of work. But I hope you all have had a great summer. Thank you so much for following along and for watching my videos, even though they've been sporadic over the last little while, and supporting me and dropping messages and sending notes. It's all been very, very appreciated. So thank you very much. I will see you again soon, and have a great summer.